here are some things you need to consider when you're choosing an installer. Verify accreditations directly on the scheme websites rather than taking them at face value. Confirm that you'll receive the full handover pack, including commissioning information, warranties, and your MCS certificate where applicable. Ask whether the installation is carried out by in-house teams or subcontractors. If it is subcontracted, ask how the subcontractors are selected, how quality is controlled, and who is responsible for the remedial work. Ask whether there's a proper technical and structural survey before installation. "We'll work it out on the day" is not a reassuring answer when the roof needs to be watertight for the next 25 years. Ask what happens if there's an issue in 6 months or 2 years. Who answers the phone? How quickly do they respond? Is there a dedicated support team, or does it depend on the goodwill of whoever is available at the time? Do you become a ticket in a system and it becomes a stressful process for you to get anyone to come out to look at the roof once the installation has come up with an error? Look for reviews that are more than a few words long, and ideally reviews that are written years after the installation. That's a really good sign that you're dealing with a reputable firm if a customer has come back 5 years later to talk about their experience over the last 5 years. And also check the company's accounts. Has the company been going for 5 years or more with a strong balance sheet and consistent performance? If the business has very low net assets because the owners have been taking all the money out every year, that's not a good sign regardless of whether it's been operating for a while. In short, government schemes like this can be very positive for households, but they also create conditions where the market gets noisy. For homeowners, the right response is not to chase the cheapest quote. It's to treat solar like the 25-year investment that it is, and to choose a company that's structured to remain accountable for the long term and whose reputation relies on their ability to consistently deliver high-quality solar installations and the aftercare along with it. It's also worth considering what happens to installation prices when grants like this become available, because they very rarely go down. The first pressure is demand-driven, and it's structural rather than temporary. Installer capacity does not scale quickly. Experienced designers, electricians, roofers, project managers, and compliance teams are all finite resources. Training new staff takes time, and reputable installers are generally cautious about expanding too fast because quality suffers when growth is rushed. When a large number of homeowners decide to move forward at the same time, the immediate result is longer lead times. The next result is firmer pricing. Not because installers are suddenly profiteering, but because once diaries are full, there's no incentive to compete aggressively on price. The work will be done regardless, and installers naturally prioritise projects that are well prepared, technically straightforward, and have a healthy margin for them. The second pressure comes from labour and delivery costs rather than panels. Even if the panel prices were to remain flat for a period, the overall cost of delivering an installation includes design time, surveying, scaffolding, electrical labour, grid compliance, and aftercare. In busy markets, wages rise, subcontract costs increase, and overheads move up as well. Those costs feed directly into system prices. Then there is the equipment side. Solar panel manufacturing costs are influenced by global supply chains and raw materials. Commodities such as silver have risen in price, and export incentives that previously kept panel prices low are being reduced. China has just announced that it's going to increase VAT on solar manufacturers. They won't be getting a VAT rebate anymore. So while short-term oversupply can delay the impact, it doesn't remove it. Over time, higher input costs tend to work their way through to end prices. Altogether, this is why periods of strong policy support rarely coincide with falling prices. Once demand accelerates, sustained price reductions become less likely, not more likely. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I'm really interested to hear what you think. Has the introduction of this grant prompted you to look at installing solar for your home or business? We'll be making more videos on the grant as more detail is announced and it gets closer to the time of actually being available. So subscribe if you want to stay tuned for that. And please do get in touch with Spirit Energy for a free, bespoke quotation that shows what you could save with solar. Thanks for watching.